What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to Life to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right, time for a rock and metal update. I haven't done one of these for probably about a month now. Just finished up that series, 1987, best top 25, 1987 with Trog, and him and I are planning on getting together and doing 1977 next. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, well, that'll be our next series together. But I thought I'd go ahead and do a vinyl update video. A lot of new releases out right now, so I'm going to just get right into this because there's a lot of great stuff going on here. First of all, I'm a happy camper because new Ace Frehley came in yesterday. It's Saturday. It came in on Friday, and I'm just loving this already. I knew I would. It's Ace. I mean, it's exactly what you expect from Ace. Nothing surprising really going on here. As usual, he's got the the normal mix of things. You got the one cover song, and I Want to Go Back. You've got an instrumental and Quantum Flux, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ace originals. That are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Ace originals. One of them, which is co-written by Gene Simmons, which is Your Wish Is My Command. It's just a solid Ace record. I mean, you got the Ace's quirky vocals, Ace's quirky guitar solos, which of course I love. His signature sound. Just straightforward, heavy rock and roll. Most of this kind of has that 70s sound. If you like the last two Ace albums, then no reason anybody's not going to like this one. I do think he harkens back a little more to the 78 release on this album. Almost intentionally, I think he always has tried to echo back to that release, because that was just a cornerstone for Ace right there, and this definitely harkens back to that time. I was seeing a couple reviews, some people saying they're not liking it, it's too much filler. Really, only track on here I didn't find to be great was Pursuit of Rock and Roll. Otherwise, every song on here I found was great. Without You, I'm Nothing, Rockin' with the Boys, which was the second single, and Bronx Boy, which is the first single. Your Wish Is My Command, which was co-written by Gene Simmons. I really like that song. Mission to Mars is classic Ace. Some people were saying the whole space Ace thing is getting old, but it's Ace. I mean, it's what it is. And then Quantum Flux being the instrumental on here. It's a great album. Like I said, it's just exactly what you want from Ace. Just classic stuff. This is actually not even popped open. I got the CD as well. This is the silver version. I guess I'm going to head and open it right now. I don't have jeans on, so I can't do the jeans trick, but I do have my handy knife, so I'm going to just split this real quick. Check it out. It is the silver version. It's got a download card here, and then here's the inner sleeve. There is actually I think it's indie version or indie something or other. They have a different cover on an orange vinyl. This is here is a silver vinyl. Very, very cool. Yeah, it's Ace, so I'm a happy boy. I love my Ace. Always have. Probably always will. Excuse me, always will. Moving on. Brand new Gravedigger. This was a hookup from the Metal War God, Kevin. Glad to have the vinyl on this. 2018 release, and will definitely be in my top 25. Solid German heavy metal band. Again, this is not quite a storyline, at least not that I really noticed out here. It's more of a mixture of songs, whereas most of their albums from the 90s and 2000s were concept albums. This one kind of it got a slight concept running through it in the whole Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Living Dead, whatever kind of theme to it. You can kind of see from the artwork as well. But I mean, there's stuff here called The Power of Metal. I mean, Zombie Dance. Zombie Dance is kind of fun. Glory or the Grave was really fun. It's got kind of that traditional German vibe going on with it. It's almost like you would hear from, I don't know, maybe Running Wild too, or definitely like Udo, that kind of an accept. It's just got something that's very German sounding about that song. But anyhow, great album from Gravedigger. It is a single album release. This particular one is black vinyl, Napalm Records. Not sure if it was available in color or not. Not that big a deal. This next album, I showed the CD in my in What's Spinning video, but this is a brand new Mass, finally available on vinyl. This is When Two Worlds Collide. This is the orange vinyl version. I don't know how many colors there are, or if there are even any more colors. I'm sorry, not orange. This is a purple vinyl edition. So, purple vinyl. This particular one is autographed to me by the entire band. Very exciting. Mel botched it a little bit. You can see a slight bend here, but it is what it is, you know. I'm just glad to have a copy. Super glad to have an autographed copy at that. Those of you who know my nolifetilmetal label, really hoping we'll be working with Mass next year on a release, but more on that when details are kindly worked out. Another new release from Eric Wagner's The Skull, basically Trouble under a new name. You've got 2 former members of Trouble on here, and it's exactly what you're going to get with the sound. The sound is old school Trouble. Old school meaning harkening back to like the first 3, maybe even the 4th album with the self-titled album, but just great. I just love this album. I like the last one too a lot, but this one here has been in constant rotation. Kind of wish I would have bought the CD too, so I could be spinning it in my car as well as at home. Wagner sounds as good as he ever has, and if you're into traditional, you know, doom or old school slow heavy metal like Trouble, this album is just fantastic. I highly recommend it. Another one, I can't see it not making my top 20 for the year. Haven't popped this one open yet. Just arrived in the mail with my Mass. Narnia. This is We Still Believe, made in Brazil. This is a live album. 2-album set. Like I said, I haven't even opened it up yet. Love Narnia. Got to open for them in, where was it? We were in Switzerland? Yeah, or was it Sweden? No, we were in Switzerland. I opened for Narnia when I was with Winstead, and really nice guys. Love their sound. Just fantastic, you know, power metal German band, I believe, as well. And this album is really rare in the U.S. If you're really interested in picking up one of these, because like I said, they're really hard to get a hold of in the United States. Rox Productions actually got a handful of them, and they're available on their site under the Christian Metal distro. And yes, Narnia were and are a Christian band, but Narnia was never the stereotypical Christian band. They toured with Dio and bands like that, and they were always on Nuclear Blast. So they never like tried to be, you know, that. Anyhow, if you like power metal, chances are you're going to like Narnia. Great band. Definitely check it out. And like I said, CD and vinyl is available on the Rox website, which is cool because, like I said, it's not available anywhere else. And speaking of that, this Mass album, I have a handful of copies on the nolifetilmetal Records site available. We had a couple that were autographed just like this one. I don't know if any of those are available anymore, but we definitely have the purple vinyl available if you're interested. nolifetilmetalrecords.com. Reissue. I'm trying to get all these King's X reissues, and finally snagged the self-titled one for a decent price. These were going up in the words of $30, and man, I just didn't want to pay that for those records. And I finally was able to score this copy for around $20, which is about the going rate for new vinyl, $20–$25. Double album set, has the entire, of course, the entire self-titled King's X album on it. Always loved the front cover art on this one. If you look really closely, you can kind of see the King's X logo really small down here in the crumbs under the boy's hand. But it was one of those albums where, you know, everybody thought King's X were going to be huge on that album, and as I did. Atlantic Records, I think they had just come off playing for, or maybe they played right afterwards at, what's that thing called? They played some big festival with Aerosmith and all these huge bands. Why can't I think of the name of it? Anyhow, didn't really happen. Wasn't huge for them. Should have been. I remember hearing the single from this album, which was let's see, what was it here? Black Flag, I think it was. Yeah, Black Flag. Remember hearing that even on the radio back then. But regardless, I love King's X. As a matter of fact, another one King's X album sitting right back here. I listen to them quite often. Glad to finally get this one. The only one I'm missing from the Metal Blade reissues now is Ear Candy. Really want that one. Again, I just can't see paying that much money for it. 2 original pressings, same band, different albums. This is their first label release, One Bad Pig, Smash. Very unique band in that I'm not a huge punk fan. I do like some punk. I like stuff like the Ramones and you know, I don't know. There's a select band that I like. One Bad Pig are considered a punk band, but man, they kind of have a variety of sound. You know, they really push more towards metal at times than they do punk. Crossover at times, even straight up hard rock at times. love this album. Always have it on CD. I've had it since it came out. Saw the band on their second tour, I believe it was, which would have been for the next album. Playing at the most bizarre place too. They were playing at a volleyball court, which was cool. Anyhow, Godarchy, Let's Be Frank, Isaiah 6, Frat Rats, Smash the Guitar, Kingdom Come. There's just some great songs. Looney Tunes. Their humor, you know, they mix humor, they mix a lot of different things into their sound, and I've always loved them. And then as well, this is even more rare. This was their first album on, I guess, a major label. They were on Murrah Records, which was a distributed by Capitol Records, I believe. And yeah, this was actually a gift from my friend Paul. And Paul, thank you so much for this. This album just never shows up. There's copies on Amazon for, not on Amazon, on Discogs for silly prices. But this, just glad to have it on vinyl. I've had it on CD since it came out, like I said. Again, punk, pushing more towards metal at times. They do a cover on here of, well, first of all, there's a Christmas song on here called Christmas Time. Great song. It's got some guy trying to chop down a tree with a I am having a hard time speaking today, aren't I? With a, what's those things called? Not an axe, because an axe doesn't have a pull cord on it. Anyhow, he's just getting angry about Christmas time, and the song is just about, you know, commercialism and Christmas and how it's taken away from the whole spirit of Christmas. Great song. And then the Judas Kiss on here? I think so. Judas Kiss is, I think, the cover on here. Where is it? Alter Ego, Hate Punk, See Me Sweat, which is almost a crossover thrash song. Red River, which is like this melodic hard rock song, which is just killer. Man, I can't even see it. Judas Kiss, yeah, there it is. Judas Kiss is on here, and that's a Petra cover, which is an odd choice for a band like One Bad Pig. But hey, man, they even covered Johnny Cash, Man in Black, with Johnny Cash singing vocals, so that's pretty cool. Anyhow, their second album on the label. This is their first album on label. They also had one other album that came before it called A Christian Band, B-A-N-N-E-D, not band, but band. Glad to get them both. I just happened to be in this massive One Bad Pig mood, found this one for a good price, and then someone offered to send me this one. It was like perfect, because I was just listening to a lot of Pig, and there you go. A couple of Anthrax reissues have been come out recently. I did pick up one of the two. We've Come For You All, which I think is a fantastic album. Last studio album they did with John Bush, Armored Saint fame. Great album in my opinion. A lot of people didn't like it. I don't care what a lot of people think. I think it's a great album. It's just straight up metal, you know. I wouldn't even call it thrash, although there are some thrashier parts on here. No reason you didn't like the rest of it, you know, the John Bush era, you wouldn't like this one. Again, it's a 2-album set, has a bonus track that wasn't on the original album. It's got We Are a Happy Family, the cover of the Ramones classic, and then it's got a acoustic mix of Safe Home, which is kind of a ballady song to begin with, so that actually works really well. Yeah. Oh, and I love the artwork too. Anthrax have had great artwork in the recent years, so very cool. Glad to have that on vinyl. Another reissue, Crescent Sword. Now this is probably one of the lesser known bands I'm showing today, but just progressive, I don't know, rock, metal, somewhere in that area. I've had this one on CD for a good decade or more. Can't remember when this first came out. Let's see if it's on here somewhere. 2009, maybe 2008, somewhere in that area. I don't see the date on here anywhere. Regardless, just great progressive rock. Crescent Shield. I saw the Metal War God show this one on his channel, and of course had to go ask him where'd you find that at. Didn't realize it was even released, and it was released on Metalizer Records in Germany, and in very limited quantities. I think it was only 300 or 500 copies, so snagged me long before they were gone. Gatefold single album, like I said, just solid progressive rock. Tends to be more on the like not 70s prog rock, but more in the 80s, 90s prog rock scale. You know, would fit in well with Fates Warning and Dream Theater and just bands like that. Even like early Queensryche, that sort of progressive rock. And I just love this album, so I was glad to grab it on vinyl. Another reissue, have all their stuff on vinyl. My copy of this album, which is Transcendence, second album from Crimson Glory, wasn't in the best of condition. So when I saw it was coming out and reissued on Music on Vinyl, I snagged it. This is limited edition of 1,000 colored copies, individually numbered, includes insert 180 gram audiophile vinyl. As long as it sounds good, I don't care if it's 180 gram or not. But original release in 1988 on Roadrunner Records, Racer Records, Roadrunner, one of them. And this reissue looks identical to the original, with the exception of some of the copyright stuff in the back. Actually, can't even remember what color the vinyl is. It's been a while since I played this one again. If I can get this little plastic thingy off of here. Playing the background is it's a gray or silver. Playing in the background is the Max Webster, featuring Kim Mitchell on guitar, and this actually song is playing right now is actually Rush, and Kim Mitchell and Max Webster are all playing together. The entire band, both bands playing, 2 drummers, everything. Really want to pick up all of these reissues, but they're just quite expensive. But man, they're gorgeous reissues. This is Celtic Frost, Vanity Nemesis. A lot of people hated Cold Lake and Vanity Nemesis. I love Vanity Nemesis. Honestly, it's one of my favorite from them. These things are heavy. I mean, I wish I could show you how heavy this thing is. I also want to put it in my other record because it's just so freaking heavy. Besides having 2 albums on 180 gram vinyl, it features all kinds of extras. A huge, perfect bound, multicolored, multi-page book. I wouldn't even call it a booklet because it's got so many pages and so much information in it. And it comes with a giant poster inside of it, which I'm not going to pull out because, like I said, it is a giant poster. It's got picture sleeves, lyric sleeves, whatever you want to call them. Here's the other picture lyric sleeve. It has, jeez, there's so much stuff in it. More lyrics. And then it's got another, it's got these, like, I don't know what you call it. I guess these are posters too. See, oh, here's the tag. So it's got 32-page, 10-inch book with extended sleeve notes, 2 posters, which I guess is what these are considered. Bonus material, 2 180 gram silver vinyl. The original album remastered. So anyhow, Vanity Nemesis, I've just loved the mix on this one. It's kind of got a thrash vibe. It still has some of that gothic feel from the first 3 Celtic Frost albums. It's just a freaking awesome album. My favorite track will always be the title opener, Heart Beneath. I just love that opening. It's got that kind of soft voice saying the heart beneath, and it just rips into those heavy guitars. It's a great record. So yeah, I'm glad to have this one on vinyl finally. Like I said, super heavy. Even without all the junk in it, I just took it out. It still weighs a ton. 280 gram vinyl and this super thick cover. Awesome. Again, these are quite expensive, as are the new Creator reissues, but hopefully eventually I can pick them up all, because my Celtic Frost vinyl collection is very lacking. So I have it all on CD, but you know, gotta have it on vinyl. This was just freaking awesome. This is the White Album from Diamond Head, the original vinyl release from Diamond Head. It was originally put out on this white album with white labels, and it was thus the White Album. But it's Lightning to the Nations. The original album was autographed, some of them autographed by everybody, some of them autographed by just a few of the guys. But those don't show up very often. When they do, they're not cheap. My buddy Trog actually has an original copy of this. But I absolutely love this reissue. Even if I had the original, I still would have grabbed this reissue. The sound is fantastic. And then it's got a bunch of bonus tracks as well, some of the singles and all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of Diamond Head singles back in the day. I mean, if you're going to get anything from Diamond Head, this is the album to get. Just phenomenally, hands down, one of the best albums from the new wave of British heavy metal movement, in my opinion. You want to hear where Metallica got their sound from? Here it is. I mean, this is Metallica's early sound, pretty much. Add the intensity and speed of Motorhead to this songwriting, and you pretty much got what Metallica came out with in 83 and 84. Anyhow, again, gatefold, heavy vinyl. High Roller Records came with a backstage pass, which you can see sitting right there in the front. Beautiful reissue. I can't remember if it was on white vinyl or black vinyl. I think it had multiple different colors you could get. I think I ordered the black vinyl though. There's the again. There's a book that comes with it. I'll skip through a few pages here, but here is the gatefold, which is just the lyrics. And yeah, oh, I did get the white vinyl version. So here's the white vinyl version. So Diamond Head, the White Album, aka Lightning for the Nations, High Roller Records. I'm sure it's a limited pressing. I picked up my copy from Shadow Kingdom, so if you're looking for a copy, that's where I got it from. I don't know if they still have copies, but well worth picking up if you don't have it. Speaking of Shadow Kingdom, the first album from Ice War, new wave of traditional heavy metal. I'm not sure how long that term is going to last. I mean, it seems like it's been 10 years and we're still calling these bands the same thing. But just traditional heavy metal, dating back to the 80s, definitely has an early vibe of like those new wave of British heavy metal bands. Specifically, I'm hearing, you know, like Iron Maiden and again Diamond Head mixed in here. But one band that a lot of people probably won't know, the vocalist really reminds me of Steve Johnson from Light Force. And Light Force were another 80s band who kind of had that early Maiden sound. And this band kind of reminds me of that quite a bit for some reason. This is on blue vinyl. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, it is blue vinyl. Blue and black. I started pulling it out and saw the black, and I was like, black vinyl. No, look at that now. It's blue vinyl. Ooh, magic tricks, right? It's split vinyl. Kind of cool. Just recently I ordered this and then also received the CD as a VCLT from Steve Harmless Rebel at about the same time. So I have both the CD and the vinyl on this. Fantastic release. I think it was 2018. Let me find out real quick. Can't recall 100%. It might be 2017. I can't see it. Regardless, it's the newest release from this band, Ice War. Canadian classic heavy metal band delivers the first full length for fans of early 80s pure heavy metal and new wave of British heavy metal. So there you go. Happy to have that. That was a great find. This is Saints in the Battle. I love this album. First of all, I'm a huge fan of Saints' first 3 albums, specifically their second 2 albums from like, I think it was 85, 86, or 86, 87, somewhere in that area. Those 2 albums are just absolutely brilliant to me. People call him a Judas Priest clone, and yeah, you know, he's got that Rob Halford-ish style to his vocals. But Josh Kramer really has a great voice. The guy can sing. And so what if he sounds a bit like Halford? Halford's one of the greats. Why wouldn't you want to sound great like that? And those 2 albums are just superb. Well, this album to me is as good as those 2 albums. This album, I can't remember what year it came out originally. This is a 2018 reissue though. The band just put out themselves, and I am really impressed with the sound here. It is on white vinyl. If you pre-ordered it, you got an autographed copy. Unfortunately, I did not pre-order it, but I did pick up a copy. Actually, again, Rock Productions has copies of this on vinyl if you're interested, and I snagged this from them. Brilliant, straight up heavy metal. Sounds like it could have come out in 1986, even though it's, you know, from 10 years later after the band reformed. They actually released 1, 2, 3 albums in the 80s, and they came back and they released an EP, which I didn't like at all. Totally was a departure in sound, some sort of alternative garage rock thing they were doing with all different members, with the exception of a vocalist, Richard Lynch, who's pictured right here. And then they got the band back together, and this is their reunion record, and it's just brilliant. Awesome, straightforward heavy metal, not thrash, not power metal, not anything else, but just solid heavy metal. If you like, you know, those first Time's End and Too Late for Living from Saint, you're going to like this album too. It's equal to those in my opinion. Another reissue. Glad this one came out. Went out to Phoenix not too long ago. Was supposed to go on the record store crawl. in Phoenix with Randy, but for whatever reason we couldn't do it. But we did make it out to a record store, and I grabbed one of the Record Crawl exclusives. This is the 180 gram remaster of Dio's Strange Highways with Tracy G on guitar. Very heavy sound for Dio, very different. A lot of people didn't like it. I have to admit, I didn't love it at first either, but I've come to love it over the years. It was just very heavy, but still very Dio-esque, you know, still had that kind of gothic heavy metal vibe that Dio was always into. Wasn't quite, you know, as light as stuff like Stand Up and Shout, or We Rock, and those kind of things, but still has, you know, songs like Jesus, Mary, and the Holy Ghost, very dark, very heavy, just very, what's the word I'm looking for, just more modern sounding without going in, without leaving the spectrum of heavy metal. You know, there wasn't any alternative or any of that kind of grunge or any of that kind of stuff on here. It was still Dio being Dio, but with Tracy G on guitar, it just had a different tone to it. Great album though. Hollywood Black, Evolution, Strange Highways, title track, great song. Blood from a Stone, Break Down the Rain. Glad to have it on vinyl finally. I know it was also released as part of the Dio box set on vinyl, but as a standalone, I think this might be the first time it was actually ever re-released on vinyl. So that's it. That's it for this rock metal update. And appreciate y'all watching. Sorry I was tripping over my words a bit, but I don't have a script. I just make the stuff up as I go. So chainsaw. That's the one I was looking for earlier. One Bad Pig. Chainsaw. Wouldn't start. Come on, start. Boom. And as soon as the chainsaw starts, you hear the riff come in. It's an awesome song. Alright, that's it. Appreciate y'all watching. God bless. Stay strong.